Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be reacting to ThirstyMonster in my games in the tournament. So, this was of, let's see, I believe it was, yeah, May 7th, and I saw that he was also streaming, so I thought that we'd react to it. Initially I thought maybe I would do our POVs side by side, but I just kind of want to do this too to explain my thought process during the game. So, yes, we were both playing in this. He also had a funny game in the previous tournament where he lost against the 1400. And actually, I think that the 1400 blundered in the end, but he was just so frustrated and completely misread the position because he was low on time. So yeah, we played this position, and I am a little bit less familiar with the pin variations, as white, usually... Well, first of all, I play this more in the spirit of like a more solid Queen's Gambit, where I've usually developed my bishop to b2, but this is like we were in a semi-tirage line, and I was just calculating in my head the best way to deal with this, because I was trying to remember exactly the complications basically regarding the d5 pawn. Okay, listen. Okay, I'm a bit rusty. I'm a bit rusty. My highest is 1900, but these tournaments have ate a lot of rating points from me, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it was a bit difficult. I ultimately ended up deciding on taking. I don't even know if that was necessarily the correct move. And I think after I might just play, yeah, I developed the knight initially, offering a knight trade, and I'm pretty sure in this position, after takes, you win the queen. I'm trying to think. So, what I was trying to remember in my head is, like, if you take immediately winning this pawn, I think if you take, they take, and then bishop b4, before they move this pawn, just to clarify. Bishop b4, and the queen has nowhere to go, so then there's queen d2, and then you take, and then at the end you also take here, and you are simply up a piece for the exchange. If it's either up a piece or equal. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I was trying to remember that line because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't mixing it up for some other d4, d5 position. And honestly, whenever I'm talking about it now, I'm not absolutely confident I'm even right on that. I'd have to pull up an analysis board. But I end up going bishop b4 immediately, just not allowing the complications. He also pins me here. What? No, he does. I don't remember if he pins me. I think he might start with rook c1, as it's just a solid, flexible move. He's doing a lot of arrows, but I think it's rook c1. I think he goes rook c1. Yeah, and I think that this is a very solid approach by my opponent. Yeah, if he goes like that, I mean, it's not really that big of a threat. So he's capping here. He's like typing to chat, just smirking, thinking that it's like gonna be an easy win. Which, to be fair, I mean, it kind of ended up being a pretty smooth victory for him. Yeah, he was calculating a lot. I was just trying to evaluate the danger, make sure I wasn't blundering anything. And eventually I do end up losing the d pawn, which I think really... was kind of my detriment. It wasn't that, it was him uncorking that. In my POV, I talk about maybe going G5, but it was too compromising. Yeah. I mean, you could castle queenside, but if you win that game, you get reported for cheating. Because I'm not even sure Stockfish can defend that position. It just looks too juicy and good. And I think I just castle here. Yeah, I just castle. He develops. I think he might develop first and then take. No, I think he actually takes immediately. Don't remember quite. He has a lot of decent moves. And it's so interesting because I've seen him before. So playing against someone that I pseudo know, like you obviously don't know your internet personalities. Now here, I moved the bishop back. Maybe this was a bit of a premature move, maybe an inaccuracy, but I figured that he was probably going to be castling soon anyway, and I didn't really want to take there because I don't even have the advantage of doubling his pawns. Yeah, he saw something incredible at the end of this line, which is why I think maybe instead of playing bishop before, I probably you give up you give up the bishop pair, and I think maybe if I would have went bishop d7 earlier in the game, it would have been better. Yeah, he had a brilliant move. Yeah. No, I like how he doubted himself there. It's always good to question yourself. Yeah, he's being a little weird, but yeah, you can play that without even thinking. But it should just compromise the pawn structure, so even if you weren't winning the pawn, it's still a very good position. I was very annoyed whenever I saw this move, and I kind of took a think here, because really you have to decide what on earth you're going to do here, because I ultimately settled on a queen e5 because it just covered the squares that I could have been forked on. So I thought it was a decent move for the circumstance. I don't really know if there was a better square for the queen. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, unfortunately, my queen's positioning was poor, but I don't know if. I think what he suggested was queen d8, but I think I calculated it being worse. Now here, he's about to play rook c5, and Rook c5, I think, was a bit impatient and probably was like an excellent move. I mean, there's no shot that he is ever pulling off either of those two moves, personally. Now, what I got stuck here on was I was trying to calculate whether or not there was any variations where this discovery led to anything that would basically end me. And he's right in what he's going to say. He says that bishop d8 is the only move. It's just kind of awkward keeping the queen there where it's pinned. I mean, I was kind of desperate, and I was like, well, if worse comes to worse, I can take on b2 and just be down like 4 points of material and just kind of hope that the position is solid enough that it's hard for him to immediately take. But I kind of think here because bishop d8, like, I did not want to have to play this move, but it was kind of forced. Luckily, there's no good discovery with the knight.
Interesting. That's a very interesting move.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean, you can't move anywhere because the knight is defending all the squares that would counteract the rook, which was really annoying. And I end up trading off like this knight for a bishop because while the bishop pair is good, first I go rook b8. If rook a7 is the better move, I'd be highly surprised. Yeah, rook a8 seems solid. The b-pawn's been hanging for like a turn or two, but there was never a good time to capture it because there was other threats in the position.
Let's go here. Yeah. You just lost to 2100. What's about with you?
Yeah, losing to a 2100 is, you know, that's not,
Are you playing in this one right now?
that's not bad. Okay, so I got here. Okay, so that vacuuming is actually on his end, not mine, so that's on him. That poor audio. Now, one thing that I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I ended up just taking the knight. And then I think I played, like, queen e7 after. It's a little fuzzy on what I played, but I think I played queen e7 to protect the position after. Now, we're kind of equal on time for a while here.
You're disrupting chat. How do you feel? You're being disrupted.
And we were both streaming, so that's possibly why we were moving a little bit slower.
Yes. They're all imagining how to vacuum.
But I went into a think here because... Okay, yeah, I don't play this... I don't play it immediately. Oh, I give up that bishop, actually. I knew I traded a bishop. I misremembered the bishop. Yeah, he did this, but he did it in a way where I got rook c8 in the end. Yeah, rook c8 was a natural move, and honestly, I think that this is still winning for white, honestly, because I kind of blundered those two pawns. The one pawn, I think you can get away with not having it, and it could still be a draw as long as you keep pieces on the board. But the other one, it was far trickier. I think I did a good job at creating counterplay here. I don't quite remember what I ended up doing. Oh yes, I went queen there. Yeah, I did have that idea, if he did not prevent it. Okay, so him pre-moving that, I think he kind of underestimated my rating, because he says he doesn't want to trade, but like, I think perhaps, I mean, the point of it is I'm down 2 pawns, and trading rooks, trading, like, where are you going to move your rook realistically? Like, the e file is the best file, this whenever you don't have any other option. I think he doubles up here. He doubles up some way, I don't exactly remember how. Yeah, so then I went rook d8, and I'm just trying to create some counterplay, and hoping that I can create something whenever there's basically nothing. I mean, with rooks on the board, it's definitely tricky. Like, I think this is definitely losing in the event of queen versus queen. But here, I moved my queen deliberately to that file, so if he moved his rook, I would be having some back rank threats if he moved his queen. Yeah, so now my queen is covering h2, but it's not a threat at the moment. Now here I think I panicked a little. I don't think I needed to play that move, but it's just I didn't know how else to improve really my position, and I felt like my king might have been in some danger. So I was just putting it in his court, and I was noticing that I was starting to put some pressure on the clock. He almost hung his rook. I would have been ecstatic to see that move played. He's not playing bad, he just is having some difficult in the conversion process. I think I go a5 here because it's just the only move that makes any sort of sense. I will say I did play a little too slowly. But I got sort of in his rhythm, where we were roughly playing around the same amount of time. Or maybe he got into my rhythm, I don't know. Because initially I was the one playing slow. Okay, so I just go back, covering my back rank. And my game-ending blunder is about to happen soon. I really think if I did not do this blunder, I probably could have done more pressure. Because I'm about to move my rook to like c2, not now, but in a future position where the back rank isn't covered. And I think I just really got gypped by the positioning of my king. Yeah, I think I go queen c2 here. I think I briefly thought about trading queens here, now that he has like about a minute on the lock. Yeah, I think he was about to say, I'm not sure how to make progress here, and then I gave him the win. And that's just called time pressure. Though I like how confidently he's just like, that's a win. And here, just because I was stubborn, I didn't resign. I just kinda, I played till mate, which is like in a move, basically. Yeah. And he got 2002, which I thought that was a good game. If you ever want to play again, let me know. It was fun. And okay, this is gonna sound bad. This isn't petty at all, but I think I might have flattered you if I didn't blunder my rook. Okay, till next time, peace.